So, welcome back. If you did like you were supposed to, you actually went and constructed that second cable for R2D2 and you went and go ahead and attached it to the legs. So we are going to go ahead and now and add a little more details to the head section right here, and we're going to start out with the visor. So we're going to go to front view, and when it comes to this, I have two options in terms of how to do this R2D2 visor. I could either cut it directly into the mesh, or since Unity doesn't have any problems with open meshes, I could also just create an alternate mesh for this, and instead of cutting it out of the mesh, and my reasoning for this is that if I go and do too many cuts into that mesh, since you have a continuous round surface such as sphere, for example, like that, it can have negative consequences on the shading. So I'm just going to create this as a separate object and then attach it onto R2D2. So how do I do that? So first I'm going to go and I'm going to hit Shift A, create a mesh, and create a cube, which I find here. I'm going to edit it a lot so I don't have to really mess with it so much. So I'm going to take it and bring it right up to here. And then I'm going to uniform scale this closer to how it should be. That's good. And then we're going to attach it to some of the main places that you can see on the visor and such. So I'm going to go to edit mode. And I'm going to start out with pressing 1 and going to vertex mode and select the top vertices, bring that down here, line it up with the top of this, take this one here, line it up with this one, line it up with that one, and that should be good, at least because they have a little extra element here that pops out, but when I looked at the reference, it's mostly this little section right here where it sort of pops out. So now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and fix this on the side view. So I'm going to rotate sideways, and as you can see, that's much too thick. So I'm going to go object mode, and I'm going to go ahead and move this right towards the beginning of where this piece is. And then I'm going to line all of these elements up correctly how you see them on screen. So I'm going to go to edit mode, take this one, line it up here, take this one, line it up a little more inwards, as you can see on the side profile. This one is a little bit more down, and I'm going to take this one right here, and as you can see, it has the start of that initial shape, but it's not quite enough. So what do I want to do? I want to go to press 2, go to edges, Alt Z. If I click on Alt, all these edges right here, that doesn't always work. How weird. I don't necessarily have to do that, so I'm just going to go ahead and select all of these, which I did. I'm going to go to loop, cut one into that, and then I'm going to go into the front view and start adjusting it as I see it. So let's see. So in the front view, we have I take these two right here, push these a little more forward so it kind of goes more with the shape of R2D2 itself. And I think I have to do some adjustments because I probably in the front I don't think I lined it up as quite as nice as I should, so I'm going to take these again, raise them up so it lines up there. And I think we're probably going to have to make an extrusion to get this little extra element right here for the sake of accuracy. So let's see if I exit that mode out. You can see it's a little bit coming out, so I'm going to take this and push it closer to the mesh itself. Yes. And then what am I going to do afterwards? I'm going to go, if I go to edge mode right here, and I'm going to go ahead and cut me those two shapes that I wanted to. So I will turn on X-ray and shift. And when you have two elements like this selected, two edges, if you actually right click and you hit subdivide, click, as you can see, it gave me a nice little cut that I can work with to do that little extrusion in the front. So I'm going to zoom in, and then I'm going to take that, I'm going to press 1, go to vertex mode to change those, and I'm going to sort of move it kind of to that point right there and such. I think R2D2 has a bit of a weird visor. So after that, I'm going to go ahead and take that mesh right here. It helps to turn off X-ray. This one, I'm going to go in this perspective, and then I am going to hit E for extrude, and then I'm going to take it outwards to more or less where it kind of lines up, and then I will hit Alt Z. I will go to and then take the mesh and then start to adjust it so it kind of fits contour to the shape of it. So there, here, a little bit forward like that, forward like that. And these more inwards because these of course have to go inside the body. So they have a little bit of that shape. I can take this one, contour fitting, boom, boom, boom. And then if I turn off X-ray and go into regular mode, as you can see, it has the makings of his visor. As you can see, his visor comes out quite a bit from the body. It seems to more or less line up with the front view, side view. How's that looking? Yeah, I never knew it came so much out of his body, but as you can see, some of the stuff on my mesh is a little off, so let's go ahead and fix that. I believe the placement of the head is a little bit off on my screens, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off X-ray, hold these two meshes, and then lower this. So when I turn X-ray mode off, as you can see, I have R2D2's little visor created and such. If you want a bit of a challenge, of course, you can try to cut this out of the actual mesh itself and see what sort of results you get, but in this case I think this will do the trick because I'm not going for anything particularly overly complicated. Make sure it's lined up correctly. Good, good, good. And this one. Up. It's going to be a lot of what you do in 3D is going to be constantly tweaking back and forth. So as you can see, that's the best split, the best of both worlds when it comes to placement on the visors. I'm going to turn off X-ray. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and delete all the vertices in the background and the faces in the back that are not going to be seen. As you can see, some of this still could use a little bit of more contour adjustment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another cut. So I'm going to go to edit mode right here in edges, select all of these, and then I'm going to do another these loop cuts, boom, and again some more adjustments. This perspective, let's see, it's probably going to need a little bit more contour, so vertex mode, extend that a little bit more. Extend that a little bit more. See how that looks. And then these places right here, for example, I can go ahead and move these, get these a little closer to the body. Same for this one. See, that's... Ah, okay. I can see now one of the reasons it's probably not fitting because probably could use a little bit more cut down the center here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go and select all of these. Yes. I'm going to do an edge cut. Huh. Yeah, as you can see, this weird shape is giving me some sort of weirdness and such. So let's see if we can do another way so we can do it all in one go. Oop, I'll do that. Control. And let's see if this works, or else I'm going to have to manually cut it sometimes. Yep, just like this. Sometimes when you have weird shapes, you're going to have to do compromises like this. So let's go back into edge mode. Ah, fuck it, I can just do the cut like this. And as you can see, I have the cut. It's nice. And how am I going to go ahead and extend this? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete some of those back edges. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of this object mode and then hide this H, go to the back, go to edit mode, and then select all these faces that I'm not going to be using, which, why don't you let me select them now? Ah, there you go. Selected, good. X faces, so now that doesn't matter. So all we need to do now is I'm going to make these cuts right here from the top to the bottom, so I have a full loop. I'm going to go back to vertex mode. I'm going to go to knife, start from the top, work my way towards the bottom, and once I have a line that I'm happy with, space, and it is secure, as you can see. And then you're going to probably have to go in front if you want to adjust a little bit more specifically. So I went to the front view, and I'm going to go ahead and take some of these and move these. So front view here, or you could also just select them all, and if you scale non-uniform on this green axis, it'll straight that line for you, and then you have that place where that curve that you're probably going to need. Move this a little bit, center it right along here. And then after I got that, I'm going to go into the top view, because that's where I'm going to need a little bit more of that curvature. And I'm just going to select these right here, just the top ones. Yes. And top view. And then I'm going to increase the curvature here. And this means this one right here, I can probably connect that to the body, but to do that I have to have the body, so I'm going to go to object mode, Alt H, and let's see. Now that we have that more curvature, I can take some of these sides right here, for example, and get them a little bit closer to the body. So I'm going to go to edit mode. Edit mode, I'm going to go to the back, and then I'm going to go and select these two, and move all of these closer to the body, so there's none of that open spaces in the mesh. Now that I rotate, let's see, if I exit X-ray mode, as you can see now, it's a little bit more form-fitting to the shape of this. You'll probably find a few places where you can do some more adjustments. So in this occasion, it's a little bit more here. And I'm going to bring these a little bit more. And this one. So now you have a shape that's more curvature and matching the shape to R2D2's little visor and such. But remember, when you do these sort of adjustments, to go into X-ray mode, because sometimes it doesn't quite get all of it. So try to adjust this here. Edit mode, like this, bring it here, this one, bring it a little bit closer, match the curvature, this one here, this row, and there you go. So now if I go out of exit mode, now as you can see, I have that front little visor. Like I said, some places are still requiring of adjustment, so keep tweaking as you keep working on this. So push this a little bit closer, and this one a little bit closer. So now these are sort of form-fitting to the shape of this visor. Although as you can see, there's more needs for adjustments. One of the things I'm not too keen about Blender is their moving is not as intuitive as other 3D applications, so I'll try to get this a little bit closer to it so it kind of matches a little perfectly. So let's see. Did that do the trick? Okay, cool. So now that I have some of these pieces a little bit closer, a little bit more adjusting. So now it sort of fits, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the smoothing on the front of the visor. So I'm going to go to Polygon, select these right here, book, and I'm going to do shade smooth. As you can see, it looks like shit because Blender's not really good at it. And then I'm going to take one more of these vertices and slightly adjust the curvature a little bit. And maybe for the sake of completion, I'm going to select these two vertices right here. Hit J to connect them together. And then now that I have that piece of R2D2's visor here, as I said, you're going to just probably have to tweak with this. You're going to edit into object mode. You're going to select the head, hold Shift, and then hit Control J, save. And as you can see now, oh, the pivot's off, but as you can see now, that is attached to the body, and then as you can see, you have a good portion of R2D2 finished. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this video short, and then I will see you in the next one.